Disney announces a bunch of new steelbooks, The Crow has a controversial new look, and Amazon and MGM Studios are in some copyright trouble. All that and more coming at you. Hello and welcome to Disc Dinosaurs, the only show on the internet proving to you that physical media is not extinct. I am your host, JT the Talking Head. You are the audience, and once again, I am joined by Droobies Doobies Movies, filling in for Teo the Terminator. Drewski, how you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Glad to be here once again. It's Teo better not let me get used to this, or I'm gonna settle right in.
Hey, let's see what you've picked up this week. I'm excited to see because I hear you got maybe a couple criterions, and that's kind of my jam. So I got to see what this is.
Oh yes, sir. Criterion had a surprise 50% off flash sale that lasted 24 hours. I took full advantage of it. Got a little fun stack for you guys right here. Starting off, we have Onibaba. I'm pretty sure is how you pronounce it, but I just saw my buddy Kevin from the Real for Real podcast review this, and it looks amazing and really interesting. And I love trying to get foreign movies when I get Criterions. And I got Transpotting in 4K, which I'm super excited about. Super excited to check out this 4K transfer. I think Criterion always knocks it out of the park with the transfers. And then I got a couple of box sets, starting with the 3 Colors box set by a director named Kilowski. It's a foreign trilogy, and I'm really excited to check this out. I've heard great things, amazing things, actually. And then last but not least, I got this John Cassavetes 5-film box set. I am actually really excited to check all these out. He was a huge inspiration for independent film. He would always take care of like the whole movie with his own money, and I think that's really cool. And he was a real face to push independent movies forward and into the mainstream media. So excited about those. And did you get anything this past week?
I did this week. However, before I get into that, I want to shout out somebody, Paul from Twin Flicks. His channel will be in the link below or in the description below. You had said that you got Trainspotting. He recently did a really good 4K to Blu-ray comparison of Criterion's release of Trainspotting. I highly suggest y'all go check it out. Paul's a very analytical kind of guy. He gets really into the techie stuff if you like that. I picked up from Walmart Train to Busan 4K steelbook from Wellgo USA. We also got the Creep Show Scream Factory steelbook. Then I picked up from my good friend HFK, Horror Film Kid 48, a copy of the Oppenheimer steelbook. He found this in his Walmart and got it over to me. My good friend Cinema Chris sent me a copy of Midway Lionsgate Steelbook Blu-ray. So it's been a very big Steelbook week. And then finally, my first and last ever order from the Disney Movie Club came in. I was not a member, but my co-host Teo the Terminator actually set up an order for me, and I paid him for it. And so we got all of these. We got Escape to Witch Mountain, Freaky Friday, A Goofy Movie, Holes, and Old Yeller with the slipcover on Old Yeller. So it's been a big physical media week. I actually have tons more that I picked up, but for time's sake, I am going to just show these off. But I will say, if you do want to see more, I have more videos over on my TikTok and on the Masters of Matinee TikTok showing off what I picked up this week. So go follow us over there. Drew, let's jump into the news. I got to ask, do you like The Crow? Have you seen the original Crow movie?
I have seen the original Crow movie. I've only seen it once, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I'm kind of gonna go rewatch it here soon because of all this talk about the new Crow. So I gotta revisit it, but I think it's amazing, and I love the look of the original Crow.
What do you think about old Skarsgård as this new Crow? This has caused a big rift with people online. It is a very controversial new look. I think he looks like Joker from Suicide Squad, and I don't like it.
I mean, dude, I'm more of a half glass full kind of guy. I like to find the positives about things constantly, but I am struggling to find a positive in that image. I mean, the tattoos and just the shirt. Like, I mean, yeah, like he's like fit in the movie, but is he ever like shirtless and flaunting off? I mean, he is a couple times for sure, but like, I mean, I just to portray the Crow like that, I just feel like he's coming off more of a over the top, sexy, crazy, like you said, Jared Leto-ish Joker style, and I don't the haircut too. Like, why does he have a mullet? I don't know. Like, what vibe are they going for? Like, he's supposed to be in like a punk rock band, right?
Well, in the original, he was in a like goth like rock band. Like he was very very goth and like kind of typo negative style, where it's not like wearing a bunch of black leather and stuff, but rather like button down shirts tucked in with your chest out and your black hair flowing like Peter Steele. Like Eric Draven is a goth icon, and I don't know, man. I get updating your characters, but also here's something that I've been thinking about. So obviously they didn't base this version of the Crow off of James O'Barr's original Crow graphic novel. There have been other Crow series that are based on James O'Barr's original graphic novel, but are not by James O'Barr. They're by other authors, and there is a Crow series where he does have shorter hair and he's got tattoos and face tattoos and stuff all over him. And that's kind of more the look they're going for. They're not doing this. And I kind of feel like that's honestly, even though I'm still not a fan of the way he looks, I feel like that's the way that you separate this Crow from Brandon Lee's Crow. I feel like that's the way that you properly pay respect to Brandon Lee, is by not replacing him. This is not the same Eric Draven that Brandon Lee portrayed. This is a different version of Eric Draven.
Yeah, no, I agree, because it's one of those things where like people would say you shouldn't even touch it, which some people would agree with. But if you are gonna touch it, you definitely can't just like try to reenact what already happened, because you can't and you won't, and people will get angry if you do. But it's like, and yeah, people will still get angry if you change it up a lot and it's bad, but at least you took a chance of being different and separating yourself and trying something new, and not just rehashing the same thing exactly word for word and image for image. So I'm still going to watch it 100,000,000%. Am I a little more weary about it? A little bit, but I think you gotta have a little faith, and we'll see what happens. I will still be seated for it though, so it didn't turn me off to the point where I'm not even gonna watch it.
I want to go back real quick to something you said, where you said if you want to, some people think if you want to honor it, don't touch it. If that's really the case, they shouldn't have made two sequels to
Yeah, hmm
to
I
the
think people
movie.
forget about those, man. I really
Well,
feel
they're
like,
really bad. They're really
yeah.
awful movies. Like, so it's understandable people would forget about them. They are truly terrible movies.
We have some amazing news coming from Toho. We are getting a Godzilla -1 box set. It will have the color as well as the black and white, and it will be 4K and Blu-ray. It is an amazing set. It looks absolutely beautiful. You get a little booklet with it. You get a nice box with it. It is breathtaking, and I cannot wait for this thing to come out. But I will say, it probably will not have English subtitles. They haven't come out directly to say that, but we are going to go ahead and assume, since it is a Japan release, that it will not have English subtitles, and we will get hopefully a release date for a US version with English subtitles here soon. But I'm telling you what, the artwork alone, if you are a collector, I would check it out, and it is worth consideration to adding to your collection. Coming from Disney, we have some more Disney Plus steelbooks coming out. These are directly the streaming shows, so that is awesome as physical media collectors, that we are getting the streaming shows on a physical media format that we can have in our collection for all time. So that is amazing. It looks like we are getting Andor Season 1, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Moon Knight. And I will say, all of these steelbooks are really beautiful, and you are worth at least checking out. I originally bought the Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 when it first came out, and it was well worth the price. It was beautiful, and the quality of everything was very nice. And this is just awesome to see. I really didn't think they were going to come out with more steelbooks after the first wave, especially with Disney Movie Club not being a thing. But that is not the case. It looks like they are teaming up with Walmart, and it is not going to, they're not available for pre-order quite yet, but they will be here soon. So keep your eyes out for that. Absolutely breathtaking steelbooks, and I'm super excited that we are getting streaming service shows and movies on physical media. It's awesome.
In other news, Amazon and MGM Studios are in some hot water after writer R. Lance Hill, the original writer of Roadhouse, has filed a copyright infringement lawsuit against them for their Roadhouse remake starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Hill alleges that Amazon violated his copyright claim on the Roadhouse IP. He also asserts that AI was used to finish the film in line with a self-imposed deadline, which would have violated SAG-AFTRA and WGA agreements during the strikes. There is a copyright provision that allows writers to like claw back their work after a like 35-year time period, and Hill is trying to do that because it's been like 32 33 years. And back in 2021 he tried to file a motion to get the copyright back within the next 2 years, and Amazon started production on the Roadhouse remake right around then. So it really is seeming that they made this movie just as a way to keep the IP, so Hill couldn't claw back the rights to it. It's also important to note that there have been other similar like lawsuits that have been fought over movies like Predator and Terminator and Friday the 13th. Drew, what are your kind of initial thoughts on this whole thing? It's a lot of information to absorb, but it's kind of a monumental thing, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think it's important, and I think it's amazing that it's getting brought to light a little better right now, because you said there was other cases that have happened, and I haven't really seen anything like this. I haven't read anything like this before, so this is really amazing that it's getting out there, because these writers originally make the content. I mean, they should get first rights back after all those years. I mean, it's their livelihood. Who knows what their situation might be later in life? They may need that money, and regardless of what's happening in their present, they in the past they wrote this amazing thing that stand the test of time for 35 years. I think they should get some money for that. There's a lot of moving parts here, but I think it is really important because these writers definitely should get their well-deserved money, and I really don't think AI has a place in movies in a like a big factor sense. Like, yes, they're a helping tool, so to speak, but they shouldn't be a massive and not massive, but an integral part of that movie.
It's also important to note that there are different kinds of writing gigs for screenwriters. There's ones where a writer writes a movie of their own volition and then they try to go out and sell it. And then there's ones where writers get hired by studios, or if they work for another kind of company and then that company gets hired by a studio to write a script, then they'll have to write a script for that studio for that movie. Um, there's a big division here. Hill claims that he wrote this of his own volition, and Amazon claims that back in the day, MGM reached out to a company that he was working for, trying to get get him to write the movie and stuff. So there's a really big division there. It's also important to note that Amazon does vehemently deny all claims that there was AI of any sort used in this movie. And they said that they actually look forward to defending themselves in court. In other news, Scream Factory dropped a load on us with their new May releases. Most notably, Killer Clowns from Outer Space is finally coming to 4K, and they're giving it the whole treatment with the boxes and the slip covers and the steel books and the pins and the posters and all that jazz. They're also bringing the Island of Dr. Moreau to a collector's edition Blu-ray. Dracula 2000 is getting a Blu-ray, not a collector's edition. Orphan's getting a Blu-ray. Gretel and Hansel is coming to 4K. And also notable, the Addams Family 1 and 2, the animated ones from the 2020s, are getting a 4K. That is a loaded month. May is going to ding the crap out of my wallet.
Coming from Vinegar Syndrome, we have their March releases, starting with Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, that is coming out in 4K. We have Story of a Junkie in Blu-ray. Then we have Singapore Sling in 4K as well. Then we have Spectres and Maya, which is a Blu-ray double feature. And then we have Going South in 4K as well. And those are your March releases for Vinegar Syndrome, and it is awesome to see all those 4Ks in there. I love me a good 4K.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at what's going to be coming out next week. From 20th Century Fox, we got The Abyss, True Lies, and Aliens in 4K. Finally, Cameron's masterpiece is coming to 4K. From Disney, we got Poor Things on Blu-ray and Wish with a Blu-ray and a Walmart exclusive 4K steelbook. From Warner Brothers, we got the Looney Tunes Collector's Choice Volume 3 Blu-ray, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom Blu-ray 4K and Walmart exclusive 4K steelbook, Cult 45, the complete series Blu-ray, The Color Purple on 4K and Blu-ray. From Paramount Pictures, we got The Running Man 4K steelbook, Event Horizon 4K steelbook, and Dragon Slayer 4K steelbook. From Universal, finally we're getting Skadoosh Kung Fu Panda on 4K. From Sony Pictures, we're getting Anyone But You on Blu-ray. And from Criterion, we're getting All That Money Can Buy and All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, both on Blu-ray.
From Arrow Video, we have The Shootist, which is on Blu-ray. Kino Lorber, we have The President's Analysis, which is on Blu-ray. The Whip and the Body, Blu-ray. And then The Lincoln Conspiracy, which is also on Blu-ray. From Shout Factory, we have Stephen King's The Shining on Blu-ray. And then Quigley Down Under on 4K. 88 Films is coming out with The Inspector Wars Skirts 2 Blu-ray. And Beauty of Beauties on Blu-ray as well. Mill Creek has Icons Unearthed Star Wars Blu-ray, which I will be picking up immediately. From MVD Visual, we have Punto Rojo on Blu-ray, and then Well Go USA is coming out with 1% Warrior on Blu-ray.
And there's all the movie news for this week, as well as the new releases for next week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for this week's edition of Disc Dinosaurs. Thank you to my guest co-host, Drewby's Doobies Movies. You can follow him on TikTok at Drewby Doobie Movie. And also, if you want to see more of him, join us on the Masters of Matinee podcast weekly. Subscribe on YouTube and follow on TikTok. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Hasta la pizza.
Watch out for androids riding asteroids.
Yeah.
Oh my god, bro. That shit is hilarious. Oh my god. Ugh. Sorry. All that for 4 words.